Welcome back to Winder Small Farms. Today we're going to be talking about John Deere fertilizer spreaders. So these four John Deere fertilizer spreaders are the only four that we own. There has been a couple other variations of this one that has been produced, but to my knowledge, other than that, this represents the three basic castings that Ertl has made of these. There is supposed to be a more of a, what I've always called like a floater fertilizer spreader, one with bigger tires, higher speeds that John Deere has, that Ertl's making a model of this year. It's supposed to be out, so when it does, we're probably going to buy one. So look forward to a review of that. Can't think of the model number, but it's like F something. Is what that is, and it kind of reminds me of like a four-wheeled Terragator, but a John Deere version of that. What we have here is this one on the end came from like a Tractor Supply, I think is where we got it, but you can get them at like a lot of places still now, but it has no model number on it. This is a 4930, that's a 4930, a different variation that Ertl made, and this is the R4038. Yeah, 4038. That is the most recent one that is out. Now we'll start with the oldest and kind of work our way down the line. So the first thing about this one is, as I said, it's got no model number, but what it is a 4920. The reason I know this is because it's the exact same casting as a 4920. They have made these in years past. They even made like a farm show edition of it with a chrome bed, and I almost bought one time, and now I regret that because I should have, because it at the time was basically the same price these are at Tractor Supply, and these are way worse. So what this is a 4920. It's got your cab like your 20 series, 8420, 8520, 8220, same cab as those tractors, which is from like the early 2000s. Same side panel as your 820 series and hood pretty much, and grill style. There is a ladder, and as you can see, it falls off like that all the time, but it is on there, so I'll give them credit for that. Your interior is just that ugly brown plastic. There is cab glass though. You got a new leader G4. You got some spinner detail. This one is broke. There was your like slow moving vehicle emblem there. This one fell off the shelf and did break, but that would normally not look like that. Decent detail on the flashers. You got your L3020 model number on the back here and your G4, and so that's the bed. A little bit of gas tank detail there, some lights, GPS, but overall pretty basic model. And this is where, if it was a sprayer, that's where the spray booms would rest. It does have some nice big wide tires on it, which is great to reduce compaction, maybe get through mud a little better, but you will be running over some soybeans if you're spreading after the soybeans emerge. Corn you'd probably be able to get through decently, but soybeans or something else with narrower rows you might be running over. So the next model, like there's several variations of that I don't have. Like I said, a farm show edition, and then one just with the model number. But the next model Ertl came out with, next generation, is the 4930. And this is the first one they produced for several years. I don't know if these came out around maybe 2006, maybe a little later. But it kind of has that 830 series hood to it. Same side panels there and grill. Pretty sure it's the same hood too. And like the other one, we do get a ladder. This ladder does stay on a little better. And we also have where our sprayer booms would rest. As we come around, we've got some fuel tank detail, and same exact box as that one has, except one thing you'll notice here is on the back, they didn't put our spreaders in there. For some reason they went cheap on that, and there's no spreaders, and I think the spreaders make it look 10 times better. So a little disappointed in that, but this is what the back of that one would look like if it wasn't broken right there. But other than that, pretty much the same. Now one big difference you'll notice is these tires. Look how skinny these tires are versus those. They're also a little bit taller. If you have them side by side, you can see just barely. So you'll get a little more ground clearance if you were spreading and standing crops that are a little taller. But you will be able to get in narrower rows, such as soybeans, without much crop damage. So there is that. Overall, very similar detailed. There's not a ton of detail. But the next one is the same model, 4930. But this is a newer toy from Ertl. And as you notice, the spreader is green. And so at first glance, that's probably all that you'll notice is different. But after looking over it heavily, there is some other variations in this model. Oh, the ladder's not supposed to be that direction. This model right here, on the gray one, now, I don't know if it's supposed to be like this, but the door does open. If you see that. Another thing is, if you look, this door does not, but there is a little tab up there. I feel like it'd be an easy custom to do. Both these do say, have a little decal right at the bottom there. Right here, see this piece on the older one is not on the newer one. And I don't know what that is. I'm not sure if it has to do more if it's like a sprayer instead of the spreader setup. But that, as you can see, is gone. So I don't know what that is, but that is missing. So that is another thing I did notice on the difference. Now the toy, this is just probably quality control, but the hood does not shut very well on the newer one either. Or it doesn't open. Well, it does open. It's not supposed to do that, but it was like that when I got it new. It just comes off. But you can see your engine in there, but it doesn't fit quite right on this newer one. And like I said, that's probably just a quality control issue. That's probably not actually a model variation in the difference. But as you can see, green bed. This has that new liter G4 to the back. They're similar. This one is black, obviously, right here, and this one's gray. But other than that, they skipped out on the spreader, still on us. But like I said, the biggest difference I noticed was the door and then this little piece here. But they do have the same tires as well. So on to the final one. This is the 438 or R4038. It's got our newer style exhaust. It's where our spray booms would rest. We got a ladder. We got handrails, which none of these offered. Although they are clunky, they are better than none. We got that newer cab with a newer GPS than those. This kind of has more of your 8R hood style and grille. Maybe closer to a 7R, honestly. But we got our fuel tank detail on this side, and we do have a nice fuel cap there. The bed here, or the spreader bed, looks similar to this one, but if you look closely, it's a different bed. You can see the sides. This is a little bit of a taller bed. I think it's a hair bit shorter too. If you look at them side by side, a hair bit shorter, but it is a hair taller. And the detail on the back of this is amazing. So you can see where your gate to let the crop flow. We've got our new leader up on our flasher bars. We've got our spreaders in there. Slow moving vehicle decal, and look at all this detail there. And it's shiny and silver, and like it just makes this other one look kind of plain. So I think this one they did an excellent job. And then your deflectors here to keep from slinging crops the opposite direction is way better than that one. It looks a lot cheaper. Another thing you'll notice too, our tires on this one isn't quite the same as the old one. They're even smaller. They're not as tall, but they are the same width. They're really short compared to this one. This one has our lowest ground clearance of the ones, which isn't always an issue, but it could be if you were in higher crops But for spreaders, normally that's not as big a deal as it is for sprayers. And if you're wondering, yes, this is the same exact casting on the hood and the cab as our 4030 sprayer. So the 4038, the 4030, same hood and cab, and the fuel tank and everything. The frame is pretty much the same. They just add a few other things on the sprayer. And the reason I said that I think that piece has to do with sprayers is because it's on this sprayer, but not on the spreader. The one that is on this spreader here. So that is our 4 John Deere spreaders. Quick rundown of them. There's not too much cab detail on any of them, but like I said, this I think is just broke. But overall, that's what's the same, what's the difference on them. My favorite one is probably this one. I really like it just because I like that body style. But overall, this does have the best bed, so if you're wanting one, this will be probably your best detail one. That'll be your cheapest one. These are kind of harder to find, but I think they look cool. So that's the spreaders for you. And like I said, stay tuned. We're gonna get that new spreader that they're coming out with this year. So check for that review coming sometime whenever those come out. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.